Naruto, you look like a totally different person. I barely recognized you, Choji would say, as he would tell Naruto he looks kinda cool, to which Kiba would say, I wouldn't say cool, but you sure as heck don't look like an orange anymore. But don't get ahead of yourself, Naruto. Getting a makeover won't make you magically stronger. To which Naruto would smirk, remembering his training as well as the moment of the forest, as he would say, sure, Kiba. As Iruka, noticing the commotion in the classroom and that everybody's already starting to crowd around Naruto, Iruka would say, alright class, let's get back to business, as he would clap and Naruto would finally sit back down looking forward at the class as Naruto would notice something strange. Ino was actually staring at him, and when he looked at her, she would blush for a second. Naruto would wonder what the heck's going on as he would look at the rest of the class and notice that 3 or 4 girls are actually looking towards his direction. Naruto, realizing this, would think, do they? As he would think, no, like, that's not it, right? As he realizes that these girls are definitely crushing on him. Naruto at this moment would play it cool outwardly, as in his mind, Naruto would kind of have a huge grin on his face thinking, looks like Sasuke isn't the only cool guy in the class anymore. As Naruto would finish the day, and today was just so different at school. It was one of the first times that he can remember having a good day at school without having to make a fool of himself to get attention. Naruto would be kind of glad, with a little bit of a cocky attitude, as he would feel different. And so, Naruto would continue training day by day as classes would eventually become a lot different to Naruto, and he would rise in popularity as his skills would grow and Naruto would show that he's not the class clown anymore, but he really has changed. This would lead Naruto's relationship to change a lot in the classroom, and he would get along pretty well with some of the more cooler people. He and Sasuke, though, they don't exactly form a relationship, seeing as Sasuke is kind of an attention hog. Eventually though, the day would finally come where the graduation exam would come around and Naruto would actually pass this time, actually being able to form a clone jutsu, leading to him actually passing this time around, which I actually just said that, my bad. Anyways, Naruto would still end up being approached by Mizuki this time around because of one specific reason that I thought of. As I was scripting this, I was like, okay, how the heck is this gonna work? But my main reason to go off of is that Mizuki does not like Naruto. So Mizuki, seeing this as an excuse, would not pass that up, telling Naruto that there's another section of the graduation exam. As Naruto, not entirely being fooled by this and having suspicions of Mizuki, would do so, realizing that this would give him a great opportunity to maybe learn more powerful jutsus. If that scroll of sealing has been sealed away, it's for a reason. So Naruto would steal it, as just like in the original, he would go on to learn the multi-shadow clone jutsu, and he would wait for Mizuki to arrive, as Mizuki would actually do so, but a lot earlier than he would have in canon. In fact, a whole 20 minutes earlier. This would lead to him smiling and betraying Naruto quickly, as he promptly throws a shuriken towards Naruto's direction, and Naruto would smirk, saying, you know, it's been a while since I've had an excuse to kill someone, as his skin would change colors, turning black and white as he would rush Mizuki, who was caught off guard, not taking Naruto seriously, as he would lead to Mizuki getting his leg cut off, as Naruto smirks in the face of Mizuki and then would cut him right down the middle, from the top of his head to his groin area, which would lead to Mizuki's body and guts just spilling everywhere, as Naruto would let out a maniacal laugh saying, that was fun. As he would then take the scroll in his possession and rush towards the direction of Hiruzen's office, where once he would arrive, he'd report to Hiruzen what happened and how he was forced to kill Mizuki. Eventually, Iruka would arrive on the scene just like in the original, and not having arrived on time, this would lead to Iruka seeing Mizuki's dead body, wondering who could have done this. This, though, would not be too much of a big deal, as we cut back over to Hiruzen in his office, and we would see Naruto explaining what happened, as he would say that he had to kill Mizuki because he tried to kill him after all, as Hiruzen would nod, understanding that Naruto had a reason to kill him, but he would say, but you didn't have to, Naruto, so why did you? As Naruto would say, because he made it so easy, as he would shock Hiruzen, who would realize that the old Naruto really was gone, as he would simply allow Naruto to leave, understanding that the shinobi world had definitely changed Naruto, and at this point there's not much he can do about it. as we would flash forward a little bit to the next day, and we would essentially just have the same events that go down in the original. Sasuke, Sakura, and Naruto would be appointed onto Team 7, and none of that would specifically change. We then have the introduction section, and just like in the original, Sakura would fawn over Sasuke. Sasuke would say he wants to kill his brother, but Naruto, however, his goals are kind of unclear. He would actually go on to be the last one to say something, and he would say that it's none of their business. As after this, the only other change that I could see happening is Naruto not trying to assault Sakura by kissing her in someone else's body, but other than that, we would eventually have Kakashi telling them about the bell test, as the very next day would arrive, and we would simply cut to Kakashi telling them the rules and saying, 3, 2, 1, begin. Kakashi would say, as Naruto would rush Kakashi with a scythe, aiming to kill him, as Kakashi would be surprised by his speed and agility, blocking with a kunai and redirecting Naruto's slash completely. As Naruto, seeing this, would begin to form hand signs saying, "You handled me pretty well, now let's see you handle 20, as Naruto would create 20 shadow clones, which would rush Kakashi, who would be forced to substitute and create 10 shadow clones with the space that he had created, trying to fend Naruto off, who would simply smile saying, "That's cute, Kakashi sensei. How's about 100 more?" As the final shadow clone would have finally been popped, 100 more would appear out of nowhere, shocking Kakashi, who would think, he has this much chakra? As they would all rush Kakashi, who now is forced to use a Sharingan, which each and every single one of the clones doing so, which would drain Kakashi massively. But it would be at this point that Naruto's clones rushing Kakashi would end up doing their absolute best to try to take him out. But Kakashi, having all the experience and being a better fighter than Naruto at this point, would stop Naruto by using a bunch of high-level jutsus to destroy them, as he would gas himself out, leading Naruto to finally having an opening and rushing in at the real Kakashi, as multiple of his clones had already been destroyed up to this point, and Naruto, getting closer and closer, would not even care about the bells, trying to simply slash Kakashi in half, who, using his battle experience, would use a genjutsu on Naruto, as using his IQ, he would trick Naruto to seeing a world in which Naruto would have successfully, or not successfully because then it'd be too obvious, but would fail to slash at him, seeing as Kakashi would pretty much end up countering him, and then another clone of Naruto would rip the bells. But suddenly Naruto would snap out of it and see that Kakashi had a kunai to his neck. Naruto at this point would smirk, saying, "Impressive," saying that he really is still lacking experience, as Naruto would say, "I guess I lost. Well, I know when to quit." So he would sit down, literally just looking at Kakashi, as he would sigh, and Kakashi, not really even having the energy to try to fight someone else right now, would simply go back to reading Make Up Paradise, as he would think in his head that that kid was dummy strong. It'd be at this point that Naruto would simply just wait for his team to do something, as eventually Sasuke would try to attack Kakashi, impressing him just like in the original. He pulls out all the stops, trying to one-up Naruto, but unfortunately for him, he's definitely not going to be putting out that kind of performance. That being said, Sasuke would still get captured, and this would lead Sakura, who is herself, would rush in being like, "Leave Sasuke alone," as she would get herself captured, rushing in blindly. And then suddenly we just kind of clip to Naruto just standing in front of both Sasuke and Sakura, as he'd be the only one that didn't get tied up to a stump. He would begin freely eating in front of both of them, as he would turn to Sakura, noticing her staring at the food, as he would say, "I'll give you some if you beg," as he would hold her face, like squeezing her cheeks, and Sakura would say, "I won't beg you, you piece of garbage," as Sakura would pretty much just tell him to get lost, and at this point Naruto would turn his attention towards Sasuke, who at this point was already staring daggers at him, as Naruto would say, "What, you got a problem with me?" As Sasuke would tell Naruto that he has no hope of getting those bells. He knows that, right? As Naruto would say, "Well, I got a heck of a lot closer than you did, and I'm not even going 100%. As Sasuke would think, he's bluffing, he has to be, but before he can say anything, his stomach would begin to grumble, as Naruto would begin laughing, cutting the tension in half, as he would say, "You're right," as he would cut the both of them loose and say, "It is better to keep my cards close to my chest," as he would then go on to pretty much tell them to eat as fast as they can, that when Kakashi arrives, they'll rip the bells off of his dead body if they have to, as Kakashi, like a couple of seconds later, right as Sasuke would have got the first bite into his mouth, would appear and say, "You," with Naruto getting ready to fight once again, pass. As he would then go on to explain that the true purpose of this test wasn't ever to actually get the bells, considering that most Genin wouldn't even be able to anyways, but to actually show that they can work as a team, saying that in the ninja world you have to work as a 3-man squad, and not being able to work together, it's detrimental. As at this point, he would go on to explain that they're going to go out and celebrate, and they would go out for some ramen. After this would happen, nothing really particularly interesting would go down, I don't think so, and so all we would pretty much get is 2 weeks, if not a week and a half, of D-rank missions passing, which Naruto would simply use this time to continue with his training, understanding that Genjutsu is something he's going to have to build some sort of resistance to someone at some point, but since he has nobody to train that with, Naruto simply sticks to improving his physical abilities, his speed, and most importantly, his strength. Understanding that Kakashi, even though he may not look it, he was way too strong for his frame. And so Naruto would train on exactly that. Also focusing on his taijutsu abilities and doing a lot to find more abilities that he can use with the scythe. That being said, eventually the day would come when they would be assigned the Tazuna escort mission. And with that being the case, a drunken Tazuna would walk into the room saying, "This is what I paid for, Ruzan? Come on, you gotta be kidding me." As he goes on to make a fool of himself, insult Team 7 a little bit, and finally meet them at the bridge the very next day, meet them at the gates the very next day. Once they would end up arriving there, they would continue, what the heck are they I don't know. They would make their way towards the land of the waves, where on their way there, just like you would probably expect, the two demon brothers would lunge out of a genjutsu they would create, and they would rush not Kakashi this time around, but actually Naruto, as they would drag the chains into Naruto's body, and Kakashi would watch, knowing that Naruto could definitely handle the two of them, but he'd react too late, and Naruto would actually end up getting skewered by the chains, as Naruto in this moment would literally have a deadly wound on his body, as Naruto's entire you would think he would die, you know what I mean, but in that moment Naruto would actually grab the chain that they used to tear him apart with, and using nothing but his physical strength would drag both of the demon brothers back, as he would grab his scythe and slash the both of them, killing them in an instant, as Naruto would say, "That was nothing." And from here, Kakashi would stare at Naruto's open and very deadly wound to anyone else, and would ask Naruto how the heck he's still standing, to which Naruto would say he has a high pain tolerance, and Kakashi would think that that's not just a high pain tolerance, this dude is practically unkillable, he would think, as Naruto would simply just not care about it and just continue walking forward, as Kakashi would say, "Wait, we have to treat this, not to mention we have to address Tazuna," as he would turn towards him and ask him why he lied about the nature of the mission. Tazuna would say, "I had to. Things are rough," and he goes on to tell a sob story, and after this would happen, Naruto would say, "Blah, blah, 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 blah. Come on, we're already halfway there, and Kakashi, you know me, you and Sasuke, not really Sakura, are more than enough to handle whatever mission this place has. I just killed them with practically no ease, and you could see how durable I am, so can we get going now? It's getting hot." As, they continue making their way, and Kakashi would think, whatever, I guess they could use the experience. As they would continue forward with the mission, and eventually a very thick mist would cover the entire area, to which finally you could hear the sounds of a blade swooshing through the air as you would just hear Kakashi say, "Dodge!" as the blade would go right past them, lodging into a wooden beam, as suddenly Zabuza would appear before them and say, "Hand over the bridge builder, Kakashi, or I'll have to kill every single one of your team members." As it'd be in this moment that Kakashi would say, "It's gonna be a little hard to get that done for you," as we would then get the iconic Kakashi versus Zabuza fight, which would ultimately lead to Zabuza trapping Kakashi in the water prison, catching him off guard at the last moment, to which Naruto would think, this dude pulled out all the stops against a Genin, but he let his guard down against someone like this? He'd think, what a joke. As suddenly, Naruto would go on to turn towards Sasuke. Sasuke, looking at him, would think the same thing, that they're not running, they're gonna fight, as, Naruto nods and the both of them would pretty much create a little strategy. Let's say it's something different to what they did in the original, but the results would still be that Kakashi gets out of the what was it again? The situation he was in? He gets out of the water prison bubble. I literally just said it, my bad. Anyways, he gets out of the water prison bubble, and after this would happen, we would get round 2, Kakashi versus Zabuza. I was gonna say Zabuza wins, but no, Kakashi would win just like in the original, and suddenly we would have Haku ending up arriving at the last second, as she would go on to fake kill Zabuza, and Naruto would simply watch as he leaves, it's not a she, and he would simply not think too much of it, because unlike Kakashi, who sort of had a little bit of awareness of the fact that it probably wasn't a mistracking ninja, Naruto, like I said, has never even been out of the village, other than that incident in the Forest of Death, but that doesn't even count. That doesn't even count as out of the village. Anyways, with that being the case, they end up arriving to the land of the waves, and Naruto sees the way that this village is, like the state it's in. Naruto would realize, like, dude, this is not cool. You know what I mean? Like, he remembers what it's like to be a kid dealing with that, and seeing other people hungry, Naruto would actually get annoyed. He would think these people might as well get put out of their misery. Death would be a better release than anything that they're living through here. As Naruto would make his way towards Tazuna's house, and suddenly Inari would end up introducing himself. And by introducing himself, I mean being super annoying and telling them they have no choice standing up to Gato, and they're gonna lose, and stop playing the hero, Inari would say. As Naruto, hearing this little kid yap about how they have no hope, would not care this time around. He's not gonna entertain that conversation. And so a couple of days would pass. Eventually Kakashi would wake up out of his chakra exertion, and finally we'd get the battle we've all been waiting for, the rematch on the bridge. Naruto, Sasuke, do you think you can handle him while I take care of Zabuza? Kakashi would say, as Naruto and Sasuke both nod, turning to each other and wondering who's gonna make the first move, as Haku suddenly would throw a Senbon at them, causing the battle to begin, as both of them would rush at Haku simultaneously at full speed, leading Haku, who at this point has never even met Naruto before, to rush at them, not taking them lightly, and would instantly start the battle, moving at speeds that Sasuke just couldn't compete with, and speeds that Naruto could barely even counter. But luckily for him, his immortality would help him greatly against an opponent like this, as he would take most of the damage and try over and over and over again to try to slash Haku with one clean strike. But as he would fail over and over, Naruto would suddenly smile after a couple of seconds would pass and say, "Playtime's over," as a Senbon would suddenly penetrate his heart and Naruto's skin would change colors. Sasuke, watching this all happen seemingly in slow motion, would say, "Naruto!" as he would see a grin appear on Naruto's face as he would rush Haku, creating hand signs for multiple clones, as they would all rush at Haku together, who's now forced into destroying them, quickly using his Ice Mirror Jutsu, trapping Naruto in a place where he can destroy his clones faster than he can create them. As he would do just that and try to kill Naruto, as everything he does would be completely useless, shocking Haku at this, but not only him but Sasuke as well, who sees Naruto having been wounded by hundreds of Senbon, but he's just standing there, as suddenly Naruto would begin adapting, as Haku's movement would begin being easier and easier to track by the second. Haku would start blitzing from mirror to mirror as he would start going full speed, and Naruto in one moment would predict Haku's next move as he would slash in the air, cutting Haku in half as he was jumping to the next ice mirror. It'd be at this point that every single one of the ice mirrors would dissolve, as Naruto would lick the blood from his scythe, watching Haku's body hit the ground as it would fall in two parts, and Sasuke, who would have been watching this whole time, could swear that he could see Naruto's eyes glowing red with a slit-like mark, but it was so quick he could barely notice it. And at this point, Naruto would go on to rip out every Senbon in his body and turn back to normal, as he would say, "That was fun, let's do it again sometime," to Haku's dead body, as he would laugh and walk past, as he would simply watch Kakashi kill Zabuza, who would pierce him with the Chidori, having no Haku to stop him this time. And after this happens, Naruto would turn to see a boat carrying dozens of men on it, as Gato would walk up and say, You want something done right, you gotta do it yourself. As he walks towards Haku's body and kicks it, telling his men to take care of them. As in a flash, Naruto would smirk and rush in like Zabuza, slaughtering each and every single one of them, as a pool of blood would be left behind, and he would appear to Gato like the Grim Reaper himself, as he would ask, "Any last words?" And Gato would say, "Wait, I'll bet."